Whenever you go to a zoo, you might notice that some animals are not in exhibits. These are typically called free roaming animals, and they can range from either small waterfowl all the way up to swans and peacocks. You see where I'm going with this? With the latest release of the Eurasian animal pack for Planet Zoo, we just got swans, which are a beautiful animal. So I figure, why not jump into Planet Zoo and show you guys how to make free roaming habitats for your animals. Now it's important to note that these are the only animals you can do this for. Everything you currently see on the screen right now are animals that will not attack guests. Now technically, there's also the chance that you could do this for any baby animal in Planet Zoo. However, I would advise against that because why would you? So without further ado, welcome to the channel and let's jump into a zoo and make a free roaming habitat, not only for peacocks, but also for our beautiful new swans. So many of you guys might recognize this zoo. This is Goodwin House. It's from the tutorial for Planet Zoo. And technically they already have peacocks in here, so let's just box these guys up and just delete that entire habitat. Alright, let's get started. So right off the bat, you will need to place down habitat barriers. If an animal escapes from a habitat, it will trigger an alert. But our friends are gonna be these null barriers right over here. So you could get started placing these guys down wherever it makes the most logical sense. Say, for example, this little corner right here, we have these nice little fences so that the peacocks actually can't get up these. And what I'm essentially doing is giving these guys all the free roam across this entire garden section as well as this water section. Now you guys might be saying, Leaf, oh my god, they're gonna escape past like those null barriers that you're placing down right now. We have a plan. Don't think I didn't come prepared. And then from there, we could just change this to null. So with that all set, our habitat is all ready to go, and you can see our peacocks just settled in very nicely right here. So let's get some of these beautiful new swans in here. So ideally, I want these swans to come in the water over here, so I'm just gonna open that up to them right there. There we go. So if we come over here and we click on the heat maps button, you can see that they are able to escape over here, which is something that we will need to fix. So this trick still reigns true even in modern Planet Zoo. We have the elephant grass. And I believe if we just tuck it ever so slightly under the ground, we should be able to alleviate any of those pesky barriers. And I believe if we actually put it all the way down, it won't affect it at all. That's right. There we go. So essentially from here, we could go along the entire barrier, placing all the elephant grass in the world, and then just seeing how we could make this work for our little ducks. That ringing's very, very infuriating, but you know what? We're putting up with it. So as you guys can see now, there are no red icons like you see right over here, so that should mean that our animals are all set to go. Of course, many of them escaped, so we're just gonna go over here and bag some of them. And from there, we have free-ranging swans. Now, of course, comes the concept of actually making sure that they have proper welfare. I typically don't really play with welfare in Planet Zoo, but I do understand how it works. So we could kind of get started with that. Obviously, foliage. The interesting thing about foliage is that it only accounts for 1% or 2% at most of their overall welfare, which is very interesting. So you could really put down any plants you want without it actually harming the animal. Now, if we come over here, we could filter by enrichment for the species, and we could see that our swans use all of this enrichment over here. So we could kind of just tuck it in areas where guests won't really see. And then we should be good, just be able to get these guys all the way up. Tucking like fruit feeders over here, tucking like, you know, a little curio ball or something, just to make sure that these animals are taken into account. Sure, you guys can have a disco on the water, sure. But from there, you could see the animal's welfare is all the way up, and even if you're a little bit worried about that, you should be able to find the guest signs, or rather, the anti-guest signs. So you can just put these up all around, and surprisingly, guests in Planet Zoo listen. So if you place a whole bunch of these guys down, the welfare for the animals will actually stay up. And you could even place down the do not feed signs as well, just so they don't feed any like hamburgers to your swans or anything like that. This is one popular swan. Why does everyone want to see him? Damn, Bart's gonna be signing some autographs over here. So other ways just to make sure that your animals are taken into account when you do have kind of like sections like this is to place down little bits of areas where guests really aren't able to access. For example, I'm doing like a little island in the middle over here where the swans will be able to access, but no other animals or humans for that matter, will. So obviously it wouldn't make logical sense, but I'm placing a little bit of habitat bedding over here just so the swans actually swim over here and make use of this pond section over here. Really, enrichment is a great way to get your animals to kind of move from place to place. So if you put enrichment items in like all 4 corners of their habitats, they will end up using every single corner of said habitat. Say for example, if we put like a few of these mirror enrichments on these sides over here, you'll eventually see the swans making their way over here and swimming around. Now, if you're in game and you're trying to figure out which animals are able to be walk-through habitat animals, just come over here to the species data tab on the Zoopedia and just look where you can see the relation with humans and the can guest enter habitat sections. This is a definite example of which animals guests are able to enter the habitat of. So say for example you have your tortoises, I believe you even have your penguins over here. So you could have a whole wide variety of different animals coexisting with all your guests in Planet Zoo. I hope this tutorial was super helpful for you guys. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Be sure to check out the mute swan in the Eurasian animal pack for Planet Zoo that was just released. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Take care and goodbye.